Hello, my strange sweetie darlings, and this is take two. I'll post the first video that I did because Beauregard had a lot to say. Um, I want to talk about three instances of what I feel was government overreach that have happened recently. Um, Two of which you have seen on the news, and one of which is more of a personal one that I heard from someone else. Now, on that one, there will be no names. Okay, and I probably won't give any names with the other ones, but trust me, you will know the other two situations. Okay, so the first one is poor Peanut and poor Fred. Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. Um, this was an instance where, and I know some people will disagree with me, that is fine. You're wrong, but that's fine. So, this is one that's really kind of hit hard. I know one of my friends and I, um, we've really been talking about it, and he's especially upset about it. And so this is an instance where this content creator was making content about Peanut. I'm sure Fred was in there somewhere. I've never really watched this content creator, and I never heard about him until after everything happened. So this is an instance of where this man had these animals for an extended period of time, had millions of subscribers, millions of followers, from what I have gleaned from the information I've heard. And no one had ever had an issue with it until one. It only takes one, y'all. One Karen decided that she was going to call the authorities. Because she thought she knew better. Said Karen called the authorities. The authorities went into that house, physically took the animals out, and euthanized them before any legal action could have been taken to stop them from taking them. I feel, and I know my friend feels the same way, that this was done because they knew that they would lose and they would have to give the animals back. So therefore, if they go ahead and euthanize them, they can say, oopsie, sorry, our mistake. But it's not like this man was hiding. Everyone around him knew he had the animals. There was never an issue. They were house animals, house pets. There was never an issue until, like I said, that one Karen went and put her little nose into something. That seems to be the issue with all these oversteps of government, is there is the one person, the one Karen, who decides to put their little foot in where it doesn't belong. Now, because of this Karen, she calls the authorities come in, they put the poor animals down. This Karen has been, that people went after her. They found out about her. They went after her. Last I heard, she had to delete all of her social medias because everyone was after her big time. Karma. Just saying. Okay, so that is the first instance of recent government overreach, I feel. You can tell me how you feel about it. Now, the second instance is a case that has recently come up about a mother and her who has been arrested because her 11-year-old son walked not even a mile from where their property is to a store or into a small town. Now, these people live very rural. The mother had gone to take another child to the doctor. She thought that either the son was in the woods or at the grandparents' house. Now, all my Gen Xers out there, I think this one is really going to talk to us, possibly more than anyone else. We went for hours. Our parents never even knew where we were. I'm not even kidding. I would be in the middle of the woods. No one knew where I was. My mother's rule was drive by occasionally for proof of life. And I started that in elementary school. I'm talking like 7, 8, 9. I mean, I was young when I was out running the woods. This kid is 11 years old. He wasn't even a mile from home. in a rural area. And again, because of some Karen who put their little foot in, this person stopped, asked if he was okay, and the child looked at her and said, "Yeah, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong." And instead of just going on and minding her business, or their business, I believe I heard it was a woman, but instead of minding their business, they called the authorities. The authorities picked up the child, took the child back home, and instead of lecturing the child, which is what, if you're a good police officer, you lecture the child. They didn't lecture the child. They lectured the mother on being a bad parent. At 11, I was running the woods. I was babysitting younger children. I was changing diapers, giving bottles, wiping snotty noses. I was in charge of other children, infants. But this kid can't walk to a store. So his mother, they came back after the first time. So they dropped the child off, lectured her, left, came back, barged up to her house and arrested her in front of her children. Now they are threatening her with a year in jail. They are trying to force her to sign a parenting agreement stating that she will assign another person to be responsible for the children when she is not home, and that they will stick to this parenting agreement, and that they will upload an app or download an app onto her son's phone that will monitor his whereabouts at all times. Now, so far, she is flat out refusing, but they are threatening her with a year of jail time. So they are threatening to take away a good mother from her children because the 11-year-old made one bad decision that really, in my point of view, was not a bad decision, because I was doing much worse at 11. Okay? All Gen Xers were. We don't talk about what went on in the woods. We're not going to talk about that, but we know we were. Okay? And again, it was because of a Karen and apparently a sheriff who was apparently having a bad day and decided to get even with somebody. All right? So that's the second instance, I feel, of government overreach. Now, the third one, this is the one that's not publicized. This is was privately told to me by someone about someone they know. So yes, it is technically hearsay, but this is someone I trust, and this was put out there to inform people to be cautious about what you put on the internet and to be cautious about who you trust to tell things. Now, this person told us about a friend of theirs that was doing a water fast. Now, I don't necessarily agree with water fasts, but it's not my life. So, and I will say that's something I have talked to my doctor about, because, I had talked to my doctor about just not being hungry, because that's a side effect of gastric surgery. And he said, congratulations. And his thing was, he had the rule of 3. And this was how long you could go without certain items. 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. Okay? This man was just doing a water fast. It was a personal thing. He didn't put it online. He didn't put it out there. Apparently, the only person he told was his child, his adult child. And it somehow got back to the authorities. Someone got this information, was not told who it was, but someone gave this information to the authorities. The authorities came into this person's home, physically forced him out of the home, and took him to a mental ward because he was doing a water fast. Now, you tell me, does that sound like government overreach to you? Because it does to me. Now, I want you to listen to all these things, maybe look into them on yourselves. And I want you to comment, like, follow, but definitely comment. Tell me what you think. Do you think this is government overreach? Do you agree with me on this? What are your thoughts on these instances? And do you have any other ones that you'd like to tell me about? Talk to me. I'm back. Much love. Bye. Stay strange, sweeties.